Hi YouTube, it's Panic here with another Don't Panic podcast episode with my boy Sal. So Sal, what's going on? Introduce yourself.
Sal Mancini, go by Mancini in the Call of Duty scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now 20 years old. Feels weird to say,
Yep.
but yeah, I Call of Duty player, content creator on the side. Uh, do a lot of things in the Twitter esports scene.
Mm-hmm.
Take a lot of ventures.
So you said that you're a content creator. That's usually the first question I usually ask all my guests. So do you consider yourself a content creator?
I mean, I guess I don't know about content creator. Maybe just streamer. I
Yeah.
don't really upload to YouTube like
Mm.
I have in
Yeah.
the past, but my streams, especially now that Call of Duty Cold War is out, they've been grinding out. So
Yeah.
definitely a streamer.
So streamer, that's still content creation in my opinion,
Yeah.
because so you have a team. So you work. So the whole thing with your team, do you like your team's Heroics Gaming, right?
Well, so I own Heroics Gaming.
Yeah. So you're the CEO.
So CEO of Heroics Gaming, but I play for another organization,
Yeah.
Underground Kings.
Mhm.
So that's Call of Duty wise. I play for them.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff because I turned Heroics into it kind of became more content creation. I
Yeah.
mean, as you once knew.
And yeah, that's pretty big.
But yeah, I mean, I started Heroics in the beginning because of Call of Duty. That was like the big thing.
Mm.
We were planning to go to an event in Texas.
Yeah.
It was end of February of last year.
Yep.
And the whole time we're like, we don't have a team. We don't have a team. We don't have a team. So I'm like, oh, okay. So as the end of Black Ops 4 was coming, I was like, I gotta start looking at names. I
Yeah.
was just like writing things down. I was like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Going through the whole creative mindset, trying to
Mhm.
figure it out. And good friend of mine, Hero, my
Yeah.
friend Jordan, he ended up, going to the military and stopped playing Call of Duty
Yeah.
as much for that year.
Mm.
So the brand became Heroics, kind of, after him.
Yeah.
So it's like, big shout out to him.
Mm.
But then Heroics Gaming was born. We took it to Texas, and then kind of became just a homies content creation org. A lot of my friends are a part of it.
Mm.
They stream under it.
That's
It's
awesome.
just group of us,
Mm.
for us, I should say.
So is there any? So you said Heroics, and then there's a bunch of people under it. Is there any specific pages or links that you want to share?
Actually, yeah, that works because speaking of, I was about to drop a tweet on Heroics Twitter at
Yep.
HeroicsGG.
Yep.
I'm gonna revive that Twitter page,
Mm-hmm.
so make sure you guys go drop a follow to that.
Make sure you go follow it, or I'm gonna ban you in real life.
Ban him in real life, see?
Ban him in real life. Just handle
And
that.
then gotta shout out my Twitter at ManciniXL on the Bluebird app.
And
Nightly good night tweets.
And basically, what he just said, we're gonna show both those links. I'm gonna pop them up. But on top of that, it's going to be down in the description. Every link that he puts in this video, everything is going to be linked. Every one of my socials is going to have everything of his getting shout out. So that's good. So, you were basically going on about having issues with getting a team at sometimes.
Yeah.
But I can totally understand that because not only do you have to manage, like, some people are just not going to be compatible playing with others. Some people have different play styles than others. Like everybody's not going to be the same type of sub, or like I don't know, like I'm not 100% in the COD scene like you are. But
well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people where you could have somebody who's a main sub, but they don't put up the numbers as other subs do. They more just focus around the objective work, and that's fine too. Everybody has their play style.
Yeah.
I mean, my play style has changed since. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been playing for 8 years now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, my playstyle has changed completely over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and that happens. And some people, they switch to another game, and their playstyle changes. So that happens too when you play with somebody for a whole
Gunplay
year.
changes too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That too. You can play with somebody for a whole year. I mean, I did last year. I played with teammates last year, and then come to this year, and either they are much better than last year, or they are not they're not at that level anymore.
Yeah.
And it happens.
And that's basically what I understand with 2K2. With the whole PS5 split and everything that's been going on, I don't have a team like currently, so I had to kind of go like the free agent route because I saw on Twitter sometimes you'd post free agent, but like that's just what you have to do sometimes. Like, if teammates aren't going to be able to get like what they need to get to, either skill level wise or hardware wise, you either need to find your, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to wipe your ass for you. Nobody's going to do your work for you.
Exactly. And I mean, like, some of these guys, I made a lot of friends in this scene.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just because you guys are homies, sometimes it doesn't work. And if you guys are really homies, you'll still be homies at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's definitely been guys who have hit me up this year, and I've,
Yeah, the time now.
unfortunately said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens. But we're still, we still talk. Some of them, just went and did their own thing, which it's fine.
Yeah. And there's no problem with that, because like, knowing, especially at your age, like I've told you this in numerous conversations in the DMs, especially at your age, I wish I would have been as wise, because I play games with my emotions on my sleeve.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I will, like, if I get like a huge play, I'm letting everybody know it. I'm letting my teammates know it. I'm letting whoever's casting it know it. I'm letting fucking the other team know it.
Yeah,
But
100%. I mean, from what I have seen, and like, knowing you're an animated person. I'm also an animated person.
Yep.
It happens in my streams all the time,
Mm.
whether, make a big play, or somebody on my team even makes a big play. Words are coming out of my mouth. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I get hype.
Yeah,
I
because
live
you
off
could be the battery to your team. Like,
Yeah.
if you're getting hype and you're bringing energy to the team, they're gonna start feeling themselves. And if you can inspire them like properly, then you can up their performance. Like,
Exactly.
not
You know what?
not everybody knows how to play. That's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Not everybody knows how to play with emotion. Some
100%.
people spiral down when they start getting, like, if they get pissed. Like, I know a few people that get pissed and they just tank.
Yeah, they shut down. I mean, it's happened to me. I've worked on, stopping that. I mean, in the beginning of last year, I was like that.
Mhm.
When I got mad, I just shut down. You
Yeah.
didn't hear anything from me.
Yeah.
And this year, in the very beginning, it was frustrating because we were losing,
Mhm.
and I was like that. And I started to realize over time, if I shut down, especially me being the biggest voice on my team right now,
Yeah.
if I shut down, they're shutting down with me.
You're in the
So I
leadership
can't
role.
shut down. Exactly. So I can't just shut down, because then I'm shutting down on my team. I'm shutting them down. Like, if I keep, my vibes up, if I keep my same energy,
Yeah.
it's gonna bring up their energy.
I 100% feel you. So another thing I wanted to bring up too is my personal experience. When I'm a vocal guy, when big shit happens, like, I'll be the first one to say shit. I'll talk shit. I'll galvanize everybody. I'll tell, like, we could be playing the best team in the world. We could be playing LeBron incarnate in the game, and I'll tell my teammates, "Oh, he's ass. I just stripped it from him 2 times in a row." And I'll come down court and get if I can do this to him, and I'm a lock that nobody knows, then you guys could all do this to him. But the thing that basically, like, I don't even know where I was going with this, but 100%, I believe that knowing when to galvanize your guys is definitely a big part of it. So speaking on that too, I know I've had issues in the past, and I currently still have issues when I'm locking in sometimes, even though I'm a vocal guy. When I, like, because I'm introverted at heart. So when I, even though I'm vocal, like, when it comes to big plays and shit like that, like, I'm introverted naturally. So when I'm, like, locked in, laser focused, sometimes I don't communicate as much. And what would you say is like good advice for that?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Teammate now does that. He locks in, and he gets quiet when he locks in.
Yeah.
And I know that, and I know, like, to expect that from him. So I just tell him to do his thing. Like,
Yeah.
when we're mid map, if I hear him get quiet, I'll know, because, like, if we're losing, if he gets quiet, okay, it's a bad thing. Then I start bringing, trying to bring the vibes up.
Yeah.
But sometimes he'll just, I'll see him in the kill feed, but he's quiet.
Yeah.
And I just keep telling him, do your thing. Listen, do your thing. Because you know what? If I keep telling him and he's doing his thing, even if he's laser focused, I'm still paying attention to things where, like, my other team is still paying attention to things where, even if he dies or he gets traded out, whatever, we still know where he is. Even though he's not communicating as much, he's just doing his thing.
You guys are high. You guys are high enough level players to have the situational awareness to know where he is.
Exactly.
But that's also another good point that you brought up. As long as he's not adversely affecting the team, he's and doing his own thing, he's allowed to do it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if you wanted help, like, to stop doing that,
yeah,
honestly, the biggest thing would just be doing it all the time. Like no matter what you do, like even if you're not even playing, if you're just like constantly communicating, you don't even need to be playing with them.
Yeah.
That's what helped me a lot
Mhm.
is actually like playing something and having background conversations with other people
Mhm.
because I'm multitasking. I'm getting so used to multitasking all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and now like especially with streaming,
Mhm.
I'm sitting there talking to my stream and playing, and that becomes so much easier the more you do it.
Yeah.
And when you can take that and put it into when you're locked in,
Yeah.
it's just gonna make it so much easier for you to just keep communicating and stay locked in.
I also feel basically what you're saying. I also feel that a lot of people don't realize that knowing how to talk to chat can actually help you with your communication in video games.
Yes.
Because basically multitasking, if it's a skill in itself, if
100%.
if you can learn how to multitask, carrying on 3 different conversations with your chat while playing at a high level on stream, then you could definitely tell your teammates, oh, somebody's flanking from A, or I'm gonna go plant, or somebody's planning right now. That's so much easier than fucking asking how somebody's day is, asking them all
Oh,
this other
100%.
shit, and like because like you're thinking about different things that are unraveling, but like once you play a game long enough, like whether that be a real life sport or a video game, you start to get a feel that on what high level players do.
Yeah.
And as long as you start like getting like that intuitiveness and getting the intuition of playing like in the game against those high level players, that's when the real skill starts to show. And that's at your age, and like I played with Viral in fucking whatever the ranked mode was last season or last year, and seeing him, and he was even rusty at the time, and he was just picking people's heads off on CDL, I believe it was.
Yep. CDL playlist.
Yep. But yeah, other than that, that's a big part. So out of everything in life, if you had to like pick 1 or 2 things, maybe even 3, what would you say you're most passionate about and what you're chasing after in life, goal wise?
So goal wise, say it all the time. I want to make this a reality. I want to become a professional Call of Duty player.
Mhm.
That's the main focus. And I work towards that, as much as I possibly can every single day, try to
Yeah.
get better and just try to get my name out there because that's a big part of this scene is your name. If your name's not out there,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're dropping 40 on the pros, they do not care if your name is not up there.
Yeah. Because
So,
they're not gonna be like, oh, they're not gonna go out of their way and say, oh, Joe Schmo dropped 40 on me.
exactly.
But if your name's out there, then they're gonna be kind of pissed, and they're gonna try to gun back at you like, oh, Mancini gunned me out. Now I gotta try to gun him and his boys out, or I'm gonna look like ass.
Yeah, I mean the big thing too is like, it happens to me all the time. I can say I've done this where I've played kids where like I either know their name, I know who they are, and I'm like, okay, like tee up. Like now we really have to tee up. Like these guys are good.
Yeah.
You play them at a higher intensity, then you play somebody like you said, Joe Schmo, that you don't know, and all of a sudden you don't play with that same intensity, and then all of a sudden you just lost to Joe Schmo.
You can get caught lacking because
Exactly.
you're not locked in 100% of the time. That Joe
And
Schmo that you don't know can actually be really good because nobody knows him, and
exactly.
he'd be the best player you've never seen.
It's very true. And people, especially now, people are talking about it. We're like name over game,
Mhm.
and it's true because, well, right now with Call of Duty switching over to PC,
Yeah.
there's a lot of accusations.
Hmm.
A lot of accusations.
Yeah.
Almost every tournament, somebody's getting blamed for hacking
Mhm.
because they're beating guys that were better than them last year. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is people don't understand that their talent is developing, and some of them might be hacking, sure, whatever.
Mhm.
But some of these guys I know personally are not.
Yeah.
They're getting these accusations just because they have outperformed them so far in this game. There's a whole new game.
Hmm.
And, it's not the same as just because you might have been top 4 last year, you could be bottom 4 this year. It's a
Different
different game.
mechanics, different strats. Not just that, but people get. I tell this to people all the time. The last 2 or 3 episodes, I've told the guest, and again, for my conversations with you, I consider you one of the most knowledgeable friends I have. Especially at your age, you have a lot of knowledge. But basically the thing I'm going to say is, yeah, if you get complacent and you're at the number 1 spot, it's no shit somebody's gonna gun for your spot. If you wanna sit on your throne and act like somebody's not gonna take a swing at you, you're fucking stupid. If you wanna stay number 1, you have to work like when you were down at the bottom, especially in something like COD.
Exactly. And not even just with COD, in life in general, and everything in general.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's a big thing too. And I have said it in the beginning of this year to other people where you get a sense of comfort. Like last year, I will say I didn't do anything crazy last year, but I
Mm.
definitely got my name out there. You know, I placed top 3 in quite a few tournaments, placed top 3 in a league, like whatever. I played well in quite a few different things, and I definitely got my name out there.
Yep.
But I'm not comfortable with just that my name got out there.
Mm.
I want to do more. I want those top 3 placings to be those first place placings over and over and over again
You
until
wanna
it's dominant.
you wanna go from like an all-star, fringe all-star to like a superstar,
Exactly. And once
perennial
I get at
all-star.
that level,
Yep.
there is no stopping. Like if you stop at that level, people will catch you and people will pass you.
Yeah.
And that happens because even like when you talk about teams in the beginning of the game,
Mm.
you know, last year especially when you had the pro teams, they
Mm.
came out the first event, you had Dallas Empire. They
Yep.
lost both their maps. Everybody's like, "Yo, they stink."
Yeah.
Then they came back again. They got smoked by Chicago, whatever. Then they lost, I think, placed top 3 or top 2, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And people were like, ah, they're okay. They ended up playing the whole year and they won the champs. They,
Yeah.
you know, just because somebody in the beginning of the game might not be at that top level or somebody is at that top level
Yeah.
doesn't mean they'll be there at the end.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically what you were just saying too. Like you look at pretty much any real life thing, game, sport, anything, like regular season, preseason, that's just all its own thing. But once you get to the playoffs and it starts ramping up and everybody's acclimated, and say for example in the NBA, Giannis, fucking world beater in the regular season, damn near unstoppable, gets to the playoffs, they start taking away what he does, and look what happens, they lose in the second round. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the MVP if you're not. What if you're the most valuable player? Lead your team to the championship.
Exactly. And that, I mean, that happens all the time. And you know, even last year, like the Patriots.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, Brady came into the playoffs. Even the Ravens. The Ravens came in the playoffs. Everybody was like, "Oh, the Ravens, they're unstoppable."
Yeah.
The Patriots, they're unstoppable. Tennessee, unknown. I mean, people knew Tennessee was good, but not that good. They beat New England. They went and beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like nobody expected that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, you know, if you get comfortable and you don't think that these underdogs are gunning for you,
Yep.
you're gonna lose to those
Look
underdogs.
at the Steelers losing to the Bengals.
Exactly. They lost 3. They were 11-0. Now they're 11-3.
Yeah.
That's 3 back-to-back losses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't get comfortable with what you're doing. You just need to keep getting better. Even if you're 11-0, you could be 16-0. You can have a Super Bowl champ. Like 11-0 means nothing if at the end of the year it wasn't for something.
Yeah. If you're not going like completely undefeated, or like even like not even just undefeated, that's championship or bust when you're contending. There's no greater there's no greater goal as a team, because like if you're going 16-0, what's it matter if you get bounced in after the first round bye?
Exactly. Or like even New England. I'm a Patriots fan. They went 16-0 and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Should have never happened. You know, the Giants were not no crazy team.
Yeah.
They beat them. You know, it's championship or bust.
Mm-hmm.
And I even think like the only time that I say is like, you know, okay, the Steelers, nobody expected them to be as good as they are. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected them to be 11-0. Even though their schedule was easy, nobody predicted that.
Mm-hmm.
But here they are. Now you have to continue that. You know, if they ended up being 14-0 right now,
Yeah.
that would shock the world.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're 11-3, well, now people are like, well, they were overrated because they just lost 3 games to ant teams.
Yeah, 100%. But so basically, moving on to the next part of our conversation is we have a segment on the podcast where it's called "Where You See Yourself." It's like it's like a little segment.
Where I see myself in the future.
Where you see yourself in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, if everything goes perfect. We'll start with 6 months. So where does Sal, Mancini XO, Pope Chini, leader of heroics, see himself in 6 months if everything goes perfect? Very little obstacles. There's always going to be obstacles, but very little obstacles.
Okay, so 6 months. We're looking at middle of 2021. Realistically, if everything, like you said, if everything goes well, I don't see myself on a pro team in 6 months.
Yeah.
But I see myself. I mean, the passion and like work ethic that I'm putting into the game,
Ascending.
I can see myself ascending in 6 months. And 6 months time, probably being in Texas. And if it's not 6 months, it's about 9. So that year question, definitely Texas.
So Texas for what? Like, would you be living?
Yeah. So that's a big plan. I mean, I know when Logan, your first episode, he kind of brought it up. You know,
Yeah.
the house in Texas.
Yeah.
That's our overall goal. Like, I mean, we have, you know, everybody wants to hit that, you know, pro player.
Yeah.
But aside from that, you know, main goal, you know, that little side quest is
Yeah.
having a house together.
Mhm.
And we've talked about it. It's been 2 years in the conversation,
Mhm.
and you know, I feel like this is the first time that we can really make it happen.
Yeah, you
And
guys are all around the age of 18 now. So
yeah, I was the last one. I was the last one.
you
Well,
guys are
that's when I hit 20.
you guys are fucking ascending. All of you guys are ascending talent wise, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, definitely ascending in what I would think all categories: knowledge, gun skill, like everything. And I think definitely 6 months trying to be in Texas,
trying to be in
still
Texas.
competing, ascending,
Mhm.
and then in a year it'll probably be, you know, the start of the next game. And really, like you said, it depends on how everything goes. If everything goes perfect, hopefully getting my name out there enough and
Mhm.
building enough connections so where either in a year I'm on a pro team or I'm on a top AM team.
Yeah.
Because, you know, these top AM teams now, you know, your top 8 teams, they're beating pros.
Yeah, that's 100%. So I wanted to actually bring that up too. So I play Smite a lot, and I was Masters, Grandmasters at one point, and I wanted to be in an amateur team at one point. But basically, what you were saying, there's teams now that people are trying to build their name so much that they'll hop on an amateur team just to build their name, just so they could beat pros. Like
Yeah.
there's some amateur teams, there's some console teams that have beaten PC teams and and the Smite Pro League, and that's crazy because they've won tournaments. So to even say that like you're gonna be on a top AM team, because that's not even a bad thing either. Is
Yeah,
just
I mean,
ascending and growing your own brand is basically what you want to do anyways. So
yeah. Well, in a Call of Duty perspective, I feel like it's gotten a lot easier nowadays. Because I remember growing up, it was like you had the CW. It was called the CWL, and it was
yeah,
the Call of Duty World League, and it was a bunch of just pro teams, and they always played each other at LAN events. It was the same teams all the time, and then you had, you know, like your sleeper AM teams that either qualified for the tourney or they
mhm,
played in a bracket play or pool play,
yeah,
and then usually those amateur teams get smoked, and then they go right back out.
yeah,
But the transition from all of these professional teams
mhm,
to a 12 team city location based league,
yeah,
the franchise league now. Um, with that happening, you take a lot of talent because if you go from say even if it's 16 teams, you go
mhm.
from 16 teams and you make it 12, that's 4 whole pro teams that are now coming into the AM scene.
I feel you.
And on top of that, we went from 5 players on a team last year, starters, so 5 starters on every pro team, so 12, you know, 60 starters.
Yeah,
Now 4, 12, 48. So 12 starters are now gone.
yeah, that's huge.
So all these guys are coming down to the AM scene, which makes that AM scene run so much harder. But
Hmm.
there's so much more, I guess, focus on it. They have their own Challengers Cup every Saturday. Well, not every Saturday, but every couple Saturdays, there's a Challengers Cup. You know, you get pro points every week.
Yeah,
You can get a max of 100. You play into the Challengers Cup, and then you try to see how far you go. You know, those are where the top teams show. The top 16 teams are usually, you know, your top of your top. And then
yeah,
everybody else, I think, you know, some of the decent, good AM teams are like top 64, top 32.
mm,
I know last year, I think the highest I placed was top 64.
gotcha.
But
That's
this year,
still good.
yeah, I mean, this year it's definitely harder, but I'm trying to, you know, get over that
Get
hump,
higher.
hit top 32 this year.
But the way that I take away from the information that I take away from basically what you told me is it's a good and a bad thing that the community is shifting like that, because one, there's going to be less spots at the top level,
Yes,
but
that's very true.
also the good thing about it is all the other people that are dropping from the top level are going into the AM scene. So you guys are getting fed harder games, but harder games can make you a better player. And
Exactly.
you're gonna, so it's basically like you went from like a stair to a ramp. So
Yeah,
now you can walk up the ramp, but there's gonna be like it's
it's a
hard to
pretty steep
explain.
ramp.
It's a pretty steep ramp.
It's
There's
a
gonna be
pretty
like
steep ramp.
it's a shorter porch now,
Yeah.
but like a steep ramp still. But at the same time, I feel that you're gonna the experience you're going to have from playing the people that were at the highest level is going to be good,
100%.
because they're going to make rotations probably faster. I mean, I don't know what the margin for error is for COD pros, but like how much faster their rotations would be, how better their gunplay would be. There's
So
probably shit like that that's got to factor into it, right?
what I will say, coming from what I've witnessed, because the thing is I'm a competitor. I'm also, a big fan. I've always been a big fan. I mean,
Strategy.
Chicago flag right behind me, um, but a big thing that I've picked up, I watch a lot. I
Yeah.
watch the pros play, and then I watch the top AMs play. I've watched them play the pros,
Yeah.
and it's at a point where these top AM teams are almost better than half of these pro teams.
Yeah.
The Chicago Optic is a fan favorite. They're projected to be a top 3 team next year.
Yeah.
They're losing to the team who just won the Challengers Cup. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they are the number 1 team in the AM scene, and they're beating the number 3 pro team.
Yeah.
Like, there's a big margin there where you still have 9 other pro teams
Mm-hmm.
underneath that third best team, and
Yeah.
this AM team is beating your third best. Like, it's just insane to me. But last year we saw for the first time really a lot of AMs getting called up.
Yeah.
New York picked up an AM player. I think they picked up no, they picked up one. They picked up one AM player and then made, a trade during the year. And then Optic last year brought in 2.
Yeah.
And we don't usually see that
Mm.
typically. You don't usually see guys that get called up like that. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But with this whole franchise and going to the challengers
And
side
the
of
way
things,
the way that is now.
yep, it's very easy because even some of these teams have an academy roster
Yeah.
who is playing in the challengers team. So they're technically under the brand.
Yeah.
They're just playing in the AM scene still.
Yeah, gotcha. So it's
So
basically
they're
like
just doing subs.
like their G League,
Yeah,
their
yeah,
farm
yeah, pretty
system.
much. Pretty much, yeah. The challengers is just like the G League of the NBA.
But that's another thing I wanted to bring
G
up
League of the
too.
NBA.
Is another big thing. Some players just didn't have the opportunity at higher levels. They were just in roles that they weren't supposed to be in. Like they'd be a better main AR than they would be a sub, possibly.
I don't necessarily see it as that.
Yeah.
I will say that this year and last year is a big difference because we have seen a big, like, I wouldn't say a big, but like a decent gap. And I don't know how to put into words what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say, but the balance
Yeah.
of guns that are actually used in the pro scene is usually closer than it has been.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, Black Ops 4, we had, most of your teams had either one ICR, one main AR, or 2 ICRs, 2 of them. And then you had either 2 flexes with the same gun, the Maddox, and then your sub with a SOG or 2 subs with a SOG, depending on what your AR situation was.
Yeah.
And that was a cool blend you saw all over. Everybody did the same thing.
So that was
Last
like
year
the
was
meta.
first time. Yeah, that was the meta. And last year's meta was 1 AR, 4 subs running around the map. We've never seen anything like that. It was just sub warfare. And this year is the exact opposite. Beginning of the game, 1 sub, 3 ARs.
Yeah, that's what Vyro was talking about. How he shouldn't be outshot like close range with an AR when you got a sub. Yeah. I feel you.
The biggest thing is definitely the gun balancing. Ambu is my main AR, and he's a bias because he's a main AR.
Yeah.
But me running a flex, I run a sub and an AR, and I can tell you for a fact the ARs, all of the ARs, were better than all of the subs at one point in this game.
Yeah.
All of the ARs.
Mm.
Like, that's never happened.
So basically, to move on this segment too, like I 100% like the whole. So I like hearing your perspective. Obviously, I'm not totally educated on the COD scene, and some of these viewers that watch this video won't be either.
Understood.
And I like hearing the mindset and the mentality. I always like hearing different forms of competitiveness. But basically, where do you see yourself in 5 years if everything goes perfect?
5 years.
You're gonna be what, 23, 24?
I'll be 25.
25?
Just
There you
turned
go.
20.
There you go.
8 days ago.
Nice.
So, but 5 years on a pro team. That's on a pro team. I'll be, at that point, it'll probably be like my hopefully 3rd, 4th year in the pro scene.
Yeah. You'll be establishing yourself.
Establishing myself, yeah. And, it's not like Call of Duty is not like, your typical sport where, these guys go on deep in their age. Like you have Tom Brady playing at his age, you have LeBron playing at his age.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. You know, you get guys that retire at 27,
You gotta be
28.
a special type of player to.
But you know, you could work on your body all the time in sports and continue to just work on your body. The thing that definitely goes is your reaction time.
Yeah.
Your reaction time will slow, and that there's not much you can do about it.
There's gonna be an 18-year-old that comes in and takes your spot when you're like 28.
Yes. And you know the top guys, the guys that have been there who are like have been a pillar of the scene are retiring now.
Yeah.
Because of that same thing. You have guys who are in the AM scene that are just blowing you out and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's these, as everybody says, they're cracked.
No matter what type of glasses you're wearing, no matter what type of those supplements you're doing, fuel it up all you want, and you're still gonna lose to a kid that just woke up 30 minutes. Yeah, I was about to say, just woke up 30 minutes ago and just turns around on you after you get the first 2 bullets into his chest.
Exactly.
But yeah. That's so it's glad to hear that you want to be on the pro team in 5 years. So another thing I wanted to ask is, if you have it your way, 100%, do you want to make heroics, keep them as like a content creation thing, or do you want to bring them pro into some aspect in any games down the line?
So if you asked me this question, if I had heroics 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you asked me this question, I would have said I want to bring them with me to the pro level. Today, asking me this question, in the future, no. It's, to me, obviously I'm not really an established owner, but watching what these owners do, personally, I don't see the worth in it. They paid $25 million for a league spot.
Yeah.
And even if that price drops, that's a lot of money for me to be competing. And maybe when I'm done competing one day,
you'll think about it possibly.
Say, hey, take heroics and like let's try to get them in there. But that would have to be a dramatic price drop. And you know, by that time, really, what our team's going to be doing? Like, how many teams? That'll be maybe 8, 9, 10 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
So at that point, how many teams are even going to be in the league? If there's going to be 24 teams at that point, they might not take.
There could be VR COD at that point.
Exactly. You know, things could change by now and then, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think the price to get into this, you know, professional level league, I'd probably stay away from. But one day, if I decide to make this thing, you know, right now it's content creation, and you know, it's kind of just a homie group.
Yeah.
But if I was to take it to the next level, it would definitely look into other esports 100%.
Yeah.
1000%.
That would be a good thing to have, because like, you guys are into a variety of different games as it is, like as the friend group is, and as somebody that I've played with you guys, you play literally almost everything, and we play everything almost at like a competitive level. Like yelling at each other. Like I can't tell you how many times I saw bitching on Twitter about fucking Among Us or something that you guys were playing at one point.
Phasmophobia, even 2K.
Yeah.
You know, playing with you guys in 2K.
Yeah.
I don't play 2K like that, but I'm just a competitive person. Like, and I pick up the game fast. I remember like playing 2K with you guys, and I was like, I started understanding things you guys were saying so fast.
Yeah.
And you know, we had Ambu who couldn't. That guy was a brick. That guy was a brick machine. Ambu, when you're watching this, you can't shoot.
He's gonna be 33 minutes in. His Ambu sense is going off right now.
But it's alright, because I'll have 5 fouls in the second quarter.
Yeah, and then you have Maniac, who swore he was a better shooter than me. Yeah, he swore he was a better shooter than me. But so another question I had is, if you were to make it to a pro team, so what pro teams are there? Drafts, or they just sign you?
This was the first year they kind of did like this weird draft thing. It's not like, you know, your typical draft where you say, okay, with the first pick you're now on the team.
Yeah.
It was more of like they called it a scouting series. Mm-hmm. So these teams, they drafted players, the top players, and they built like their own floor with the top players. They let them go at it, and you get to see the top of the top play against each other.
Yeah.
So now you really see who's the top dog of the top.
Yeah.
And you know, that helps teams where it's a signing, really. They'll sign you and say, okay, like there's a top AM player, Draza. He plays with Blast.
They want to see you play.
My favorite player.
Yeah.
He is on 100 Thieves. He's a sub for 100 Thieves. He's also in the AM scene. But he's a kind of guy, like last year, he got signed mid-year, and that's how it was. He was on a team, but they signed him. They said, hey, listen, come play for us, you know, come to the Pro League. And so he did. He signed, joined the Pro League. And then, obviously, you know, with it shrinking, him being the youngin got kind of the boot,
Yeah.
but he's a sub. So I mean, he's still in a good spot, but you know, you always want to be a starter at some point.
Yeah, you never. I mean, being a bench guy and being a role player is good, but some people just have the mentality and like the competitiveness to where they don't want to just stay on the bench.
Yeah.
And obviously, like if your coach comes to you and tells you, "Hey, we might want to have you on the bench," and to like kind of like be an energy guy or something like that for now, just to play your role. I mean, obviously, you want to do what you can.
Yeah.
But ultimately, so say there is a draft thing when you become eligible to be drafted. Are you going to pull, is there a specific team you want to go to? You're going to pull an Eli Manning? Say you don't want to go to a team or what?
So there's definitely like, I mean, everybody knows I'm a big Optic Gaming fan.
Yeah.
And that's, if I had my choice, it'd be them. You know, they're the reason I'm where I am right now.
Yeah.
You know, well, they're not the reason I'm here. They're the reason why I started
Yeah.
my journey here. My friends are the reason I'm here, 100%.
Yeah.
But Optic Gaming really got me into this, and Devin showed me them in 2012, I believe, or 2011, something like that.
Yeah.
And after watching them, I instantly just, that was it. I wanted to compete. Wanted to compete.
Is it like an organization thing that makes you want to compete? Like how well they run their organization or what?
Well, they were like 100 Thieves is doing it now, but they were like the best of the best at everything. You know, they had a top Call of Duty team, and then their content was awesome. And you got to watch these pro players who were hysterical. You know, guys I look up to, guys who have like I want to be like or overcome. You know, these are the guys I look at and I'm like, they're the top of the top. I want to be better than them.
Yeah.
And those guys, you know, were so funny, and their content was hysterical. And you know, that's from being an owner of Heroics. That's what the Texas move would have been for me. You know, it's a big content move.
Yeah.
We would be able to make insane content. We're all very funny guys, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
And putting us all in a house together.
Some of us are more funny because that's just who we are. Not because they're actually funny, but just we're not trying to be like Maniac, for example. He's not trying to be funny. It's just who he is. Yeah.
100%.
Cheque, for example, when he always talks about his fucking talkies when we were playing that fucking one part game.
Mid-game.
Mid game he chucks up a contested 3 and he just starts laughing.
I mean, I did the same thing. I was sitting at the rec logo, like, pass me the ball.
Yeah, but we were playing like a comp game with me, him, and Viral. He's just sitting in the corner, and I'm like, I'll give it to him the one time. He does listen to the directions when I give them, but when I don't give directions to him, he's a fucking loose cannon. And then
that just comes with, like, you know, like you said, leadership. I mean, like, that's a leadership thing. And Cheque, definitely, you know, playing with him, I played with him all last year. And, you know, playing with him this year and seeing him develop from, you know, I mean, we all developed a lot, but him especially, because last year, you know, he got his fair share of people talking down on him. And what he has done since then is insane. Like, that guy has all my respect because, you know, I haven't had people talk down on my name like that. Where I don't know, like that guy.
Where you want to swing back type thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I've never been pushed at that point, but, you know, like, I teased him for sure. You know, he was my teammate at the time. He was getting teased. He still does. But, you know, realistically, what he has done since then is incredible to me. And I'm super proud of him. And, you know, I remember, like, in the beginning, I was kind of, you know, calling little things where, like, I was the IGL, but I felt like I was also coaching. And then it just clicked in his head. And, you know, like, that's what I'm waiting for to happen this year. You know, I'm waiting for things to just start clicking. And once things start clicking, you know, things start moving.
And leadership-wise, sometimes that's the push some guys need. And, like, basically, like I said, like, when Cheque was playing 2K with me, he's obviously not going to take that as serious as he's taking your guys' COD runs.
100%.
And that's the thing I appreciate about Cheque too, is even though he wasn't taking it serious, he did show flashes of getting good at the game at some times. And his character and how hard that you all work, Logan busting his ass at the Amazon job that he doesn't like because he wants to chase his dreams, you busting your ass at your job while also chasing COD, Viral 7 days a week, Cheque 6 days a week now. Now 6 days a week. Cheque doing what he does. Just all you guys busting your ass and chasing your dreams at the same time. It's admirable. So basically, now that we got that out of the way, so if you had to rank how important your goals are, actually let's not do that one first. This one we'll do first. What do you believe you can improve on to work towards your goals Like the goals that we talked about in your 6 months, 1 year, 5 years. What
So,
can Mancini do better to get where he wants to get?
good question. Definitely one thing is, I say it all the time where, like I was saying earlier, you even if you get to a spot, you can't get comfortable, you have to get better.
Yeah.
And I live by that. I could yesterday we scrimmed and I was going off
Yeah.
and I was dropping numbers.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't just stop yesterday, and I don't sit content with that because
Yeah.
tomorrow I need to drop more numbers. If I drop 80 in a game,
Yeah.
I want to drop 90.
Yeah.
I didn't drop 80. I dropped, I think, 50, whatever.
Mhm.
But then next game I want to drop 60. Like it's gonna keep pushing me. That's just the thing that's in my brain. Is just keep going, keep going. And
Because eventually practice becomes game. If you can get into your head where practice is second nature, then you could work towards making game second nature. And then you get to kind of have like that Jordan mentality where you basically want to show like every moment's your moment to show somebody in the crowd, give them their Mancini moment. You want to give them like, oh, this guy's like Jordan-esque. He's going to drop 30. He's going to drop 40 this game, and I want to see it. Because one day you get where you want, and then you're going to be somebody's reason for getting into COD.
Exactly. And that's one thing is, I think me and you have had this talk, and you see it on my tweets.
Yeah.
I'm that guy that, wants everybody's head up regardless of what's going on. I'm going to try to make everybody's day better.
Yeah.
And that's just the person inside of me. But that's my goal is, like if I make it, I make it.
Yeah.
But once I make it, I can keep going to the top. And once I get to the top, what I want to do after that is make people want to get into it too. Like, I want somebody to be the scump for me that said, oh, hey, like this kid's nasty. I want to do what he's doing. And then go and do it, because that's all some people need is they just need somebody to like say,
to
hey,
believe
look,
in
they're
them.
doing this. Yeah, exactly. And if they see somebody else doing it, they're like, well, it's possible.
Yeah.
You may not, when I was 12 years old, I was not at Scumpy's level.
Yeah.
I honestly, Scumpy can't gun me now.
But,
yeah. But when I was 12, I was not at that level.
Yeah.
And it showed me like if I want this, I've got to work for it. It's not just gonna be like I get on one day and the team's gonna be like, yo, Sal, yeah, come play for us. That's not how life works.
Yeah.
It's not how anything works. So
it's all that behind the scenes work.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep putting the work in. If I want to make these dreams happen, there's a lot of things that I could get better at. My reaction time could get better. It's good. Like, it's good enough for me to compete, but it could be better.
Yeah.
And, once I get there, it could be better. It could always be better.
I feel you. So the next segment we're gonna get on to is called word association. I give you a word, and then you either give me one word or a few words to say after I give you the word. So you ready? All right. So we're gonna start off with success.
I'm gonna start stuttering the first one, but it'll click.
Success.
Champs.
Huh?
Champs.
Champs? Okay. Failure.
Regain.
Okay, admirable. Cold. First thing.
I wanted to say regain again.
Hey, if you gotta say regain again, it's first thing that comes to mind.
It is. It was regain. I just didn't want to say it.
Cold or hot?
Going off. That's 2 words.
Good. You can use a few words. Don't matter. Good.
Good.
Yep.
Shit, I almost answered me.
Bad.
It's coming out. It's
Bad.
coming out. Also me.
See, I like that. There's the duality aspect. Pretty much
everybody's got their good and bad.
All right. So number 1.
Scump.
Did you just say you can outgun him?
Exactly, but my name's not there yet. When my name's there, it'll be me.
And then when you gun him, you can piss him off.
I feel shoot his body.
I feel it. So other than that, we got our word association done. We'll get more of your socials again. So the main socials you said you wanted to plug are your Twitter and your basically your 2 Twitters, right?
Yeah. So at HeroicsGG on Twitter.
Yeah.
At ManciniXL on Twitter and twitch.tv/MXNCINI.
Yep, I'll make sure to plug all of that above or below or in the description or anywhere. It'll be in a black screen, it'll be in something, it'll be in the credits, it'll be fucking everywhere. It'll be on my socials, it'll be on the telephone pole outside, it'll be everywhere. So it'll be on my computer, it's whatever, but you get the point. Other than that, what are your closing thoughts on the process, the podcast, everything we talked about today, anything?
Listen, what I'm going to say is shout out to Austin because you know, when I watched this first episode when it went live, the first episode with Logan,
Yeah.
I was like, I need to be on that.
Yeah.
Like, you guys killed it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna keep killing it.
Mhm.
And I'm very proud at like what you're doing
Mhm.
and all that good stuff. And I hope, you know, everybody that watched, I hope this was enjoyable. I hope you guys learned a little something about, you know, the COD scene, because you know, I know not a lot of you are familiar with that.
We talked a lot about it too.
Yep. But you know, to close it off, shout out to Austin. You know, shout out to all the homies that, you know, are the reason I'm here. You know, the guys in heroics, all that.
Yep.
People that support me.
100%. But other than that, pretty much what Sal said. We're probably gonna get out of here, but anybody that wants to be on the podcast that already is on the list, make sure you comment in the comments below, like the video, hit me up on Twitter. I have a long list of people I still gotta do, but it's like 2 guests a week. You'll be up there pretty soon, because you can even ask Sal. There was like 1 or 2 weeks ago where he was asking, "Oh, when is gonna be my episode?" And I moved it to
I woke up today, I was like, oh,
two episodes a week, and then all of a sudden his episode's today, and he's like, "Oh, it's today." But yeah, other than that, as you can see, if you like the content, you want to be on here, it's okay to be on here. Eventually we'll work towards bigger people. But basically what I told Sal and everybody that I told in the first wave, I want to get the people I care about most in the first wave. They not only asked first, but they cared. I've turned down a few people already and told them that I don't want them in the first wave yet. So everybody that I believe should be ascending and should have that has had a positive impact in my life is going to be on the podcast within the next month or so. Other than that, we'll work towards bigger people. Like, I can get collabs probably sometime after. I care about.
If you ever want me back, you let me know.
Yeah, but basically the whole point of the 6 months, 1 year, 5 years thing is to set up a potential future episode.
I like that.
Where because, like, I don't know if you ever seen the Billie Eilish video where they ask her, they interview her on Vogue or whatever.
I don't think I saw that.
YouTube it is. So they ask her basically the same interview, same questions a year later. And it was funny this year because she's like, "Oh yeah, I hope the world will be different." And then she comes back after the coronavirus hits and she's like, "Oh wow, I guess I shouldn't have hoped that the world would have been different." Yeah. But other than that, yeah, we've been going on too long. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Like, subscribe, comment, retweet. Go show Sal some love, and I'll ban you in real life. And if you don't go fucking do what I say, he's gonna slide cancel the shit out of you or whatever. The 360 no scope you in the back of your dome ski.
You're getting trick shotted for sure.
You'll get trick shotted the shit out of, and he doesn't even usually do that. He'll play objective on your bitch ass and like hard point your ass all the way to like 200 to 0. But either way, everybody have a good rest of your night. We're out.
Thank you.
Hey, I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no hoe. I ain't talking to no cop and I ain't telling on my bros. Ain't no killer, but don't push me, fingers itching on that pole. Niggas plotting on my come up, gotta watch they at my nose. Long nights I sold drugs just to